Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Today I am going to record the demonstration video for the next practical, which we are going to have the session tomorrow. This practical is about the digestive system. From now onward, there will be about 3 to 4 practicals in which we are going to cover the complete parts of digestive system. This is a very extensive system, starting from the oral cavity and then ending on the last part of the large intestine. So basically it is divided in parts. So this demonstration video is part one of the digestive system. In this we will cover the structures which are present or important for the process of digestion in oral cavity. Precisely talking about in this practical, we will identify, first we will discuss and then we'll identify the physiological features of tongue, salivary glands, and then we will move towards the food pipe, which is the conveying part from oral cavity to stomach. This will be the learning outcome of this demonstration session, that after listening this video you people will be able to describe and, the most important thing, identify the basic histological features of tongue, salivary glands and esophagus. Starting with the tongue, in oral cavity it is considered, if talking about the basic term, it is considered as the mucus bag. So this mucus bag is actually made up of, from outside, by mucous membrane or mucosa, and then that bag is filled inside by a lot of skeletal muscles. That's why it is under the control of the individual, the movement of the tongue. So now, precisely in more histological term, a tongue is, if viewed, have two surfaces. The upper surface, which is facing the hard palate, it is termed as dorsal surface of the tongue, and then this side of the tongue, which is facing the floor of the oral cavity, the lower side of the tongue, it is termed the ventral surface of the tongue. On both sides, now looking at this micrograph, on both sides, it is covered on outside by mucous membrane, and that mucous membrane, the first part, is the epithelium. The epithelium which is lining the tongue from the outside on the dorsal surface as well as on the ventral surface is more protective type of the epithelia, so it is stratified squamous epithelium. That stratified squamous epithelium can be keratinized, can be non-keratinized. So looking at the keratinized and non-keratinized, we will discuss a bit later. But what is next important, that below epithelium there is an underlying layer of connective tissue there. That underlying connective tissue below epithelium is termed as lamina propria. So that lamina propria and epithelium from both sides, from the dorsal as well as from the ventral side, is termed as mucous membrane. That mucous membrane is actually making the outside of the tongue. And within, when we look the inside, the core of the organ is made up of skeletal muscles. That mucus bag inside is filled by skeletal muscles. And looking at this micrograph, you can see that there are a lot of different sections. Some of the muscles are running towards the tip of the tongue, some are running from the ventral side of the tongue towards the dorsal surface, and some in between. So they can be oriented in any of the possible direction within the tongue. So collectively, the core is skeletal muscles, there's surrounding connective tissue, in some location there will be lingual glands as well, as shown in this bunch. And then one of the duct from these lingual gland is opening towards the surface on the lower side. They or the lingual glands. So basically, tongue outside is covered by mucous membrane. That mucous membrane have outer epithelium, stratified squamous epithelium. Below epithelium, there is a small amount of connective tissue there, which is termed as lamina propria. And then the central core of the tongue is filled with muscles, and some locations are also having the lingual glands as well. The next thing that is important, that looking at the mucous membrane and precisely the outer epithelium of that mucous membrane, the ventral surface epithelium is quite smooth in its outline. It is it is not forming any projections which are evident on the dorsal side of the tongue. So these projections of the epithelium and the core of this projection is connective tissue. That mucous membrane projection are termed as papilla. So papilla are a characteristic feature of dorsal surface of the tongue. Some of the micrographs which I have added in your worksheet are asking you people about to answer which side of the surface of the tongue is visible in front of you. So you have to identify that surface on the basis of presence or absence of projections. If the projections are there, then you have to answer that that is the dorsal surface which is magnified, and if it is smooth, the mucous membrane is not forming any projection, it is smooth, then it is termed as the ventral surface of the tongue. Moving onward, another schematic diagram which on outside is covered by epithelium. Then there is a connective tissue amount there, lamina propria, and then the core is formed by the muscles, and in some locations there are glands shown in this diagram as well. So we were discussing that the dorsal surface of the tongue is covered with mucosal projections which are termed as papillae. These papillae are covered by outside by epithelium, which can be completely or incompletely keratinized, and then the core of the papillae is made up of lamina propria. Basically, these papillae are characterized in four major categories: filiform, fungi or fungiform, circumvallate. Another name which is present for the circumvallate in text is vallate, and the last one is foliate. So in this demonstration, I will identify these individual papillas, and you people will be asked in your worksheet and in your exam to identify these basic four types. Before moving towards an individual papilla identification, look at this panoramic view of the whole tongue taken from the mouse. So it is exhibiting the two surfaces, the ventral surface which is smooth and dorsal surface which have lots of projections on it. So this is an indication that this projection side is the dorsal side of the tongue, and then this smooth surface mucous membrane is the ventral side of the tongue. On both sides, the upper dark color area is stratified squamous epithelium, and on the lower side of the epithelium on both sides there is a small amount of connective tissue that will be labeled as lamina propria. Then the core part is filled with skeletal muscles. Another magnified micrograph, which is probably taken from this particular part as indicated. Now just look, here is what I was talking about, the projections there. These projections are papilla, and the presence of these papilla is giving you the indication that the dorsal surface of the tongue is now magnified in this micrograph, and the core of the papilla is made up of the lamina propria, and below lamina propria there is a very high quantity of different orientations of skeletal muscles. Some of them are cross sections, some are oblique, some are perfect longitudinal sections. So this is an indication that this part is the core of the tongue. Moving towards the individual papilla, the papilla which are covered with stratified squamous keratinized epithelium and forming a cone on towards the outside surface of the tongue. That cone-shaped papilla are termed as filiform papilla. These are the most numerous papilla present in an individual's tongue. And the important thing, these papilla do not have taste buds on their surface. Tongue have certain areas where the taste buds are also present, but these filiform papilla are not one of them. Look at this micrograph. The dorsal surface of the tongue is indicating lots of cone-shaped projections covered with the keratin layer of stratified squamous keratinized epithelium. And below them, you have the multiple nucleated cell layers, but the upper surface, the exposed surface, is the keratin layer. So these numerous papilla which are magnified in this micrograph are filiform papilla. Another demonstration, what is important to look at, that these projections are forming cones. The cone tip is covered with the keratin part of stratified squamous keratinized epithelium. Below you can find multiple layers of nucleated cell, and then the core part of each papilla is lamina propria. So if these type of micrographs are asked in your worksheet or in your exam, so you have to identify the type of papilla there. Similarly, in second micrograph, what is evident? The cone of the projected projections. So these cone of the projected part is indication that all these papilla under the arrows are filiform papilla, and the core of the papilla is made up of lamina propria from the lower side. The second type is fungiform or fungiform. This papilla, as written, is broader, larger than the filiform papilla, and they are the papilla which are categorized as gustatory. Gustation or gustatory is a word related to the sense of taste. So those taste papillas which will have taste buds on their surface, they will be termed as collectively gustatory papilla. So this is one first of the gustatory papilla. The previous one, which is filiform, which don't have the taste buds, is non-gustatory papilla or mechanical papilla, which is only involved in the movement of the food particle. So looking at this papilla's micrograph, it is exhibiting an umbrella-shaped projection towards the upper surface or the mushroom-shaped projection. Another thing which will help you to identify from another type of the papilla, कि इस पेपिला के साइड पे आपको कोई नीचे सल्काई या डिप्रेशन नजर नहीं आ रहा. Only the upper surface is projecting in the shape of an umbrella or mushroom shaped projection. It is covered by partial keratinized epithelium. An important thing that it have taste buds and they are present on the upper surface or the exposed part of this papilla, fungiform papilla. Another micrograph, look at this umbrella shaped projection. The core is again lamina propria. The upper part is the stratified squamous partially keratinized epithelium. If this is under the pointer, then you have to attempt this micrograph as the fungiform papilla or the fungiform papilla. So the second micrograph, again there is a micrograph in which one of the papilla is on the pointer. Again, look at the projected portion. It is mushroom shaped, partially keratinized epithelium is there, and then the important thing, it has lots of these rounded structure facing the upper surface of the papilla, which are taste buds. We will look at the taste buds in detail after covering these papillas. Again, a schematic diagram and an actual diagram indicating this mushroom shaped projection, which is covered by partially keratinized epithelium outside, and the core is made up of the connective tissue lamina propria. This is an example of fungiform or fungiform papilla. Circumvallate papilla. These are the largest size papilla, but very low in number in any individual's tongue. What is important? It is for when we look at the tongue from the dorsal surface. This is a micrograph, but if we look at the tongue from the dorsal surface, these papillas are projecting from the surface of the tongue as rounded eminences. So those rounded eminences from upper side is named as circumvallate papillas. This could be confusing with the fungiform papilla, but the evident thing that on the each side of this papilla there is a deep depression, sulcus. So this sulcus is an evidence that you are looking at circumvallate papilla, not on the fungiform papilla. And next important thing, location of taste buds. In fungiform papilla, the taste buds were present on the upper surface of the projected part, but in this papilla, the taste buds are present on the lateral side, which is facing that depression, that sulci, or that groove. So taste buds are present on the lateral surface, not on the dorsal surface of the papilla. That is important. Then the last type of papilla, which is foliate papilla, it have a very characteristic shape that the epithelium is forming two ridges and two furrows within the papilla itself, not outside. And if we want to locate them on the tongue, it is present on the dorsolateral surface. They also have taste buds. So all these last three categories, fungi, form, circumvallate, or foliate, they are all gustatory papilla. Why? Because they have taste buds on their surface. So we were discussing about the two parallel ridges along with two furrows. So just look at these two projections of the epithelial part of the whole papilla, which is projecting downward of almost equal depth, traveling almost equal depth within the lamina propria. So presence of these two long ridges downward towards the lamina propria within the projection is an indication that you are looking at an individual foliate papilla. If we talk about the number of foliate papilla in this micrograph, so 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the papillas are there. Why they are 4? Because all of these projections have two very long ridges traveling downward towards the lamina propria part of the core part of the papilla. Again, looking at the taste buds, as they also have a very deep depression on the lateral side of the each papilla. So these taste buds are actually facing that the lateral side of the papilla as well. So with this, we have covered the four basic type of the papillas. Moving towards the taste buds. Taste buds are oval structures which are present in the epithelium part of the mucous membrane of the tongue. These oval structures are actually made up of three basic type of cells. The one type of cell we are not categorizing the type of epithelium there. There are certain columnar cells there. Then there are certain cells which are toward the base of this oval shaped structure. So these cells which are present on the base and not reaching the outside part of this oval structure are basal cells. And then there are two other type of cells, the sportive cells, and then the third type of cells which are connected with the nerve endings and which have certain projections which are termed as taste hair and taste pores. These projections are here within a pore opening on the outside. So all these features and the ovalness when looked at a higher magnification is termed as taste bud. Again, you are visualizing two projections. Foliate papillas. Why foliate? Because they have two large ridges there. And on the each side, in the depression, there are certain oval shaped structures, taste buds, and if we magnify that taste bud, it is present as a lightly stained area of the oval shape. These nuclei which are present towards the base are the basal cells, and then these larger cells are the two types of sportive and the gustatory cells. But what is important, look at this depression on the upper side of this oval shape or onion shaped structure. This is taste pore, and within taste pore there are certain hair like projections coming out of the taste pores. Again, a magnified image of the taste buds taken from one of the papillas and tongue. To distinguish the taste bud from the surrounding epithelium, it is comparatively lightly stained first. Second, it is oval shape, and it have on its projection certain taste buds which are completely cut or exhibiting the taste pores which are facing the outside surface of the papilla as well. So if mm, this is a magnified macrograph, if your people are being asked to identify the structure present in this micrograph, so these magnified oval shaped structures are taste buds. The next part is covering about the salivary gland. There are basically two main categories of salivary glands, major salivary glands and minor salivary glands. In this histology course of systemic histology, veterinary histology, we are only concerned with the histological identification of the major salivary glands. There are basically three types of the major salivary glands in all domestic species: parotid salivary glands, submandibular salivary gland, and sublingual salivary glands. These structures are located outside the oral cavity, but they are conveying their secretions as they are all exocrine glands, so they have their own ducts. So those ducts are opening into the oral cavity, and as they are important for the process of digestion, so they are covered in the digestive histology as well, digestive system. All these salivary glands have basically two type of cells: serous cells and mucous cells. You must have gone through the histological features of serous acini, mucous acini, and those acini also group are made up of the individual cells, serous cells and mucous cells. तो उसी तरह के cells को हमने acini की सूरत में यहाँ देखना है. The next thing that is important, the next schematic diagram is important to be reviewed thoroughly. It will give you the basic histological features for basic outline for all the histological features of the three major salivary glands. So moving toward that schematic diagram, the outside surface of all the salivary glands, regardless which of the type is indicated here, is covered by a connective tissue capsule. That connective tissue capsule is actually dense irregular connective tissue. It will have lots of collagen fibers irregularly arranged, which is covering the whole of the salivary gland from outside. The next important thing to be remembered, that from capsule there are certain branches. Before going towards the capsule branch, then important thing, whenever you are talking about a gland have two major portions: the stroma portion and the parenchyma portion. You must have gone through the basic definition of the parenchyma and stroma in last semester. If the gland part, which is producing the main secretion of that gland, or it is performing the main function of that gland, it is termed as the parenchyma portion of that gland. So the parenchyma portion of all these glands will be made up of serous and mucous cells grouped in the form of the acini. So the parenchyma portion will be made up of the serous and mucous cells, and then the ducts which are directly connected with these units which are producing the secretions. And then the stroma portion is actually all the blood vessels, connective tissue, which is there to provide support, which is not directly involved in the secretion of the saliva, but which is there inside that particular gland to provide support to its structure. So the stroma portion, first we have covered is the capsule, which is covering the whole of the salivary gland from outside, and then the branch of the capsule, which is traveling inside the main glandular portion, is termed as septa or trabeculae का word भी इसके लिए कहीं यूज होता है. That septum is again a connective tissue portion, और इसी सेप्टम के थ्रू वो सारी ब्लड वेसल्स जिन्होंने मेन सेल्स तक आना है, या वो सारी डक्ट्स जिन्होंने इस ग्लैंड के थ्रू बाहर जाना है, वो इसी सेप्टा के अंदर ट्रेवल करते हुए इस ग्लैंड से बाहर जाएंगे. और ये सेप्टा का एक और फीचर कि वो ग्लैंड को अब सब डिविजन्स में डिवाइड कर रहा है. उनमें से दो डिविजन्स अब आपके सामने स्कीमेटिक डायग्राम में एविडेंट हैं. वन विच इज प्रेजेंट ऑन द लेफ्ट साइड ऑफ दिस schematic diagram and the other one which is present on the right side. तो सेप्टा जो कैप्सूल की ब्रांच है जो अंदर की तरफ ट्रेवल कर रहा है, वो बाउंड्रीज भी बना रहा है, स्मॉलर यूनिट्स भी बना रहा है और उनकी बाउंड्रीज बना रहा है. उन स्मॉलर यूनिट्स को हिस्टोलॉजिकल लेवल्स पे लोब्यूल्स कहते हैं. तो दिस इज अ सिंगल लोब्यूल, this is another lobule, and the boundary of each lobule is made by the septa, which is the branch of the capsule coming from outside. Then the parenchymatous portion, or the main portion, which is involved in the projection, in the secretion and then excretion or the carrying of the saliva, or the parenchyma portion. Here there is a unit which is serous in nature. Why it is serous? Because it has a stained cytoplasm, nucleus is more or less rounded. These are the serous acini, and then next portion of salivary gland is the ductal portion. There are different levels of ducts in each salivary gland. The smallest duct, which is lined by simple squamous or low cuboidal epithelium, or simple you can say cuboidal epithelium, जिसके अंदर डायरेक्टली ये एसिनी अपनी सिक्रीशन को पोर करते हैं, those ducts are termed as intercalated ducts. Intercalated disc का नाम आपने जरूर सुना होगा कार्डियक मसल्स में, but here this first level duct which is directly connected with the factory or the cells which are producing this saliva, they are intercalated ducts, and then these intercalated ducts combine to form next level duct which is striated duct. Striated ducts को अगर आप गौर से देखें स्कीमेटिक डायग्राम में भी, तो उनकी वो साइड सेल की जो बेसमेंट मेम्ब्रेन की तरफ है, जो ल्यूमेन की तरफ नहीं बल्कि बेसमेंट मेम्ब्रेन की तरफ है, वहां पे आपको कुछ स्ट्राइएटेड पैटर्न्स नजर आ रहे हैं. तो द प्रेजेंस ऑफ दीस स्ट्राइएटेड पैटर्न्स is involved in the nomenclature of this duct, that it is a striated duct. Looking at the histology, it is again lined by a simple epithelium. That simple epithelium is most of the time simple columnar, but it could be simple cuboidal as well. तो सबसे पहले लेवल की डक्ट जिसमें डायरेक्टली सीरस एसिनाई या म्यूकस एसिनाई अपनी सीक्रेशन को पोर करते हैं, दे आर एम्प्टी करते हैं, दे आर इंटरकलेटेड डक्ट्स. देन these intercalated ducts are combined or unite to form the next level duct, which is striated duct. The next important thing, these two level of ducts are present within the each unit subdivision lobule. तो ये लोब्यूल के अंदर मिलेंगे हमें माइक्रोग्राफ में. नेक्स्ट लेवल डक्ट जिसमें स्ट्राइटेड डक्ट्स अपने आप को एम्प्टी करते हैं, दैट इज प्रेजेंट इन द कनेक्टिव टिश्यू सेप्टा. दैट लार्जर साइज डक्ट is termed as interlobular. Inter mean between, or duct which is present between lobules. So here you have one lobule on the left side and the one lobule on the right side, then the boundary part is septa, and the duct which is present in the septal portion is interlobular duct. So these are the basic features which are quite common in all the major three types. Now moving towards the individual salivary glands, starting with the parotid salivary gland. This is most the theoretical portion. The parotid salivary gland is purely serous secreting gland, enzymatic secretion, serous acini. So all the secretory units are serous in nature, and then those serous acini are covered by a contractile type of myoepithelial cells which are present between the basement membrane and the cells itself. तमाम के तमाम यूनिट्स हमें जो हैं सीरियस मिलेंगे, जैसे कि फर्स्ट माइक्रोग्राफ स्कीमेटिक डायग्राम में नजर आ रहे थे. देन नेक्स्ट लेवल डक्ट्स अगर आप देखेंगे तो द स्मॉलेस्ट डक्ट इज इंटरकलेटेड, इसको हम डिस्कस कर चुके हैं, लाइन बाय simple squamous or cuboidal epithelium. The next level duct within lobule is striated duct. Then striated ducts के साथ जो आगे ducts आ रही हैं, अगर वो lobule के अंदर मौजूद है इससे बड़ी, तो intralobular duct. But the next important duct level which is present outside the lobule between the adjacent lobule in the connective tissue septa is interlobular duct. An important thing to remember, a basic criteria to remember, that whenever the size of duct is increasing as from intercalated towards interlobular, epithelium की height भी increase हो रही है. From initially it was squamous to low cuboidal, then it becomes cuboidal to columnar, same columnar, then interlobular ducts could have simple columnar or pseudo-stratified columnar epithelium as well, or stratified columnar epithelium in some location. So the basic formula that from lower level ducts towards the high level ducts, the lining epithelium of those ducts is going to increase in their first size and in layers. A very characteristic low magnified micrograph taken from an online resource. The first thing to remember, that look at the periphery of this gland. This is connective tissue which is covering this gland from outside. So this is the capsule portion of this gland made up of dense irregular connective tissue. There are a lot of collagen fibers as indicated by the pinkish colored fibers there. The next important thing, this connective tissue capsule gives its branches which are traveling inside the gland. What is the name? Septa. Okay, that's good. If you are remembering it as the interlobular septa or septa, this is correct. This is the septa portion. This is another septa portion. So this is quite evident that here is a very magnified portion of one lobule there, magnified portion. अगर हम इस माइक्रोग्राफ के अंदर देखें तो आपको कुछ डार्क स्टेन एरियाज नजर आ रहे हैं, उनके दरमियान में कहीं कहीं कनेक्टिव टिश्यू के अंदर एडिपोज सेल्स भी हैं. दीज आर लाइटली स्टेन एडिपोज टिश्यूज, और उनके दरमियान में फिर कुछ लाइट पिंकिश एरियाज नजर आ रहे हैं. तो दीज पिंकिश एरियाज आर द डक्ट्स. तो अगर हम डक्ट्स को देखें तो वो लाइटली स्टेन्ड हैं सीरस एसिनाई की निस्बत फर्स्ट. बट इन दिस माइक्रोग्राफ मैग्निफिकेशन इस लेवल पे यू कैन स्टिल कांट आइडेंटिफाई द लेवल ऑफ डक्ट्स. बट इस माइक्रोग्राफ में क्या चीज एक एविडेंट है कि nature of gland is serous because of the presence of all the serous acini there. The capsule is quite evident. The branches of capsule is quite evident. No, if we magnify this same micrograph, look at this magnified portion. These individual acini. These individual acini are made up of the pyramid-shaped cells, as evident by one of this pyramid there. This is the lumen of this acini. Then the cytoplasm of this acini is stained and the nucleus is present towards the base, but it is rounded. The stained cytoplasm, the roundedness of the nucleus is evident that this is a serous cell and this unit is completely serous. तो सारे एरिया को देखें तो यहाँ पे आपको सारे के सारे जो यूनिट पैरेन्काइमेटस पोर्शन नजर आ रहा है, दैट इज सीरस एसिनी. अगेन अ मैग्नीफाइड इमेज, बट इसमें आपको देखें कुछ सीरस यूनिट नजर आ रहे हैं विद देयर zymogen granules, stained cytoplasm. But the important thing, कुछ lightly stained areas भी नजर आ रहे हैं with larger lumen. सीरस यूनिट्स में देखें तो आपको lumen इतनी एविडेंट नजर नहीं आ रही, कहीं छोटी सी नजर आ सकती है, बट डक्ट के अंदर आपको क्लियर कट नजर आ रही है lumen. फर्स्ट ल्यूमन का डिफरेंस आप डक्ट और सेक्रेटरी यूनिट के दरमियान कर सकते हैं, ये सीरस एसिनी में, पैरोटिड ग्लैंड में. The next thing that is important, staining affinity. Serous acini are darkly stained. Look at these individual units, they are darkly stained. the ducts are lightly stained. वो smallest unit ducts जिनकी लाइनिंग सिंपल कोबाइडल एपिथेलियम की बनी होगी, they are all intercalated ducts. और यहाँ पे देखें आपको एक सीरियस एसिनाई डायरेक्टली ओपन होता हुआ नजर आ रहा है डक्ट के अंदर. तो दिस इज अ कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फीचर दैट दिस डक्ट इज द फर्स्ट लेवल डक्ट व्हिच इज इंटरकलेटेड डक्ट. और इन सीरियस और सेल्स यूनिट्स और डक्ट्स दरमियान में देखें तो देयर इज सम सेप्टा पोर्शन, कनेक्टिव टिश्यू जो स्ट्रॉन्ग बना रहा है, इनको सपोर्ट प्रोवाइड कर रहा है. अनदर मैग्नीफाइड इमेज जहाँ पे आपको कनेक्टिव टिश्यू, इंटरलोबुलर कनेक्टिव टिश्यू या सेप्टा नजर आ रहा है और इसके अंदर आपको एक लोब्यूल मैग्नीफाइड होता नजर आ रहा है. बट व्हाट इज एविडेंट, these darkly stained units, serous acini, and in between them there are certain smaller ducts, intercalated ducts. और intercalated ducts के साथ कुछ आपको बड़ी सिंपल columnar epithelium की लाइन नजर डक्ट्स नजर आ रही हैं. they are striated ducts. another magnified image, इसमें भी आप देखें तो इनका साइटोप्लाज्म सीरस एसिनाई का स्टेन है, राउंडेड न्यूक्लियस है, छोटा सा ल्यूमन है और उनके दरमियान में आपको स्मॉलेस्ट लेवल डक्ट नजर आ रही है, इंटरकलेटेड डक्ट, और कुछ से बड़ी डक्ट स्ट्राइडेड डक्ट्स नजर आ रही हैं. तो इस तरह का भी अगर मैग्नीफाइड इमेज नजर आए जिसमें आपको सेप्टा नजर ना आ रहा हो बट क्या चीज एविडेंट है कि सारे के सारे जो यूनिट्स हैं वो सीरियस हैं, तो सारे के सारे यूनिट सीरियस होने की वजह से यू कैन स्टिल आंसर इट दैट इट इज अ माइक्रोग्राफ टेकन फ्रॉम पैरोटिड सलाइवरी ग्लैंड. सब मैंडिबुलर ग्लैंड की अगर हम बात करें तो इट इज नॉट सीरियस कंप्लीटली बट इट इज अ मिक्स्ड ग्लैंड. मिक्स्ड ग्लैंड का क्या मतलब है कि यहाँ पे हमें सीरियस यूनिट भी नजर आएंगे और म्यूकस भी नजर आएंगे, बट उन दोनों में से जो आउट नंबर करेगा दूसरे को या जो ज्यादा प्रीडोमिनेंट अमाउंट में मौजूद है वो स्टिल इज सीरियस एसिनाई. So this is the parenchyma portion, and then the second part of the parenchyma portion is the ductal portion. तो ducts सब मैंडिबुलर ग्लैंड की बिल्कुल उसी तरीके से मिलेंगी जिस तरह से हमें पैरोटिड में मिली थी कि we will find intercalated duct, we will find striated duct इंट्रालोबुलर लेवल पे, and then interlobular duct जो इंटरलोबुलर सेप्टा के अंदर मिलेगी. Another schematic diagram, कैप्सूल को देखें which is covering this gland from outside, the branch of capsule which is moving inside, it septum, और septum के अंदर आपको एक मैग्नीफाइड लोब्यूल नजर आ रहा है. उस लोब्यूल को अगर आप देखें तो उसमें आपको सीरियस यूनिट भी नजर आ रहे हैं बट म्यूकस यूनिट भी है वहां पे. दैट इज व्हाई द सबमैंडिबुलर ग्लैंड इज मिक्स्ड ग्लैंड फर्स्ट, बट मिक्स्ड ग्लैंड में प्रीडोमिनेंट जो यूनिट नजर आ रहा है दैट इज स्टिल सीरियस. एंड द नेक्स्ट थिंग, द लेवल ऑफ डक्ट्स which is present there. Look at this smaller unit duct जो बिल्कुल सीरियस यूनिट के बराबर साइज की है, is an intercalated duct. Intercalated ducts then empties into a larger size duct within the same lobule. These are striated ducts. मिक्स्ड ग्लैंड में एक चीज और आपको एविडेंट मिलेगी कि आपको कंप्लीटली सीरियस यूनिट मिल सकते हैं, कंप्लीटली सीरियस म्यूकस यूनिट मिल सकते हैं, बट एक ही यूनिट मिल सकता है जिसमें दोनों तरह के सेल्स मौजूद हों, म्यूकस एज वेल एज सीरियस, एंड सीरियस सेल इज मेकिंग ऑफ स्मूथ. डेमिल्यून की फॉर्मेशन में मिल सकती है सीरियस डेमिल्यून की मिक्स्ड ग्लैंड के अंदर, बट प्रीडोमिनेंट स्टिल इज सीरियस इन सबमैंडिबुलर ग्लैंड. एंड देन इंटरलोबुलर सेप्टा के अंदर जो आपको लार्जर डक्ट नजर आ रही है लाइंड बाय सिंपल कोलमनर एपिथेलियम इज इंटरलोबुलर. व्हाई इट इज इंटरलोबुलर, जो एक आपको लोअर साइड पे लोअर लोब्यूल कटा हुआ मिलना चाहिए था जो ड्रा नहीं किया गया अभी फिलहाल, तो वो उस बेसिस पे तो दो लोब्यूल्स के दरमियान जो कनेक्टिव टिश्यू सेप्टा के अंदर डक्ट मौजूद होगी उसको हम इंटरलोबुलर डक्ट कहेंगे. A very characteristic schematic diagram, black and white portion is actually labeled portion of the same colored but non-labeled portion. Look at the secretory units. This is serous, having stained cytoplasm, rounded nucleus, and then in between them there are certain acini which are lightly stained, whitish in color, and have flattened basal nuclei. So these are the mucous acini, mucus secreting cells. These are serous secreting cells, or serous secreting cells are predominant as compared to the mucus cells. वो यहाँ पे एविडेंट है। नेक्स्ट थिंग दैट इज एविडेंट कि डक्ट्स कितनी क्लियर कट डिफरेंट स्टेन्स के साथ नजर आएंगी आपको स्कीमेटिक एक्चुअल माइक्रोग्राफ के अंदर भी। लुकिंग एट दिस माइक्रोग्राफ, दिस lightly colored, light pinkish colored, compared to Cirrus acini are ducts. ये striated ducts हैं। अगर आप गौर से देखें तो बेसल स्ट्राइएशन नजर आ रही हैं। इनका साइज सीरस यूनिट से बड़ा होगा। द फर्स्ट लेवल डक्ट जिसके अंदर आपको एक म्यूकस एसिनाई यहाँ पे ओपन होता भी नजर आ रहा है, these are intercalated ducts as labeled here, and then these are striated ducts जो आपको बड़ी बड़ी नजर आ रही हैं। अनदर माइक्रोग्राफ जिसमें एक लोब्यूल एविडेंट किया गया, मैग्नीफाई किया गया। लोब्यूल के अंदर आपको एडिपोज सेल नजर आ रहे हैं। दीज आर नॉट म्यूकस यूनिट्स। म्यूकस यूनिट्स कुछ इस तरह से नजर आएंगे, व्हाइटिश बट ब्लर। द सेकंड थिंग, देयर आर सीरस यूनिट्स एज वेल। तो सीरस यूनिट्स आर आउट नंबरिंग द म्यूकस यूनिट्स। और यहाँ पे देखें आपको मिक्स यूनिट भी नजर आ रहा है, विच इज the central part is mucus, then the serous cells are covering it as the half moon. This demilune appearance, which is quite characteristic here as well, is an indication that you are visualizing a mixed gland. Parotid gland mixed नहीं था, but submandibular gland जिसके आप माइक्रोग्राफ देख रहे हैं, this is a mixed gland. Then looking at different size of the ducts, this is probably the striated duct, which is quite large here. We try to identify another striated duct here, and then the smaller level duct is intercalated duct here. और अगर आप इस सेप्टा के अंदर कोई डक्ट नजर आती तो उसको हम इंटरलोबुलर कहते हैं, बिकॉज ये सेप्टा बाउंड्री बना रहा है इस लोब्यूल और इस हाफ कट लोब्यूल के अंदर। Moving towards the last salivary gland, which is sublingual salivary gland, it is again a mixed type of gland. मिक्स का क्या मतलब है, यहाँ पे हमें सीरस यूनिट भी मिलेंगे बट म्यूकस यूनिट भी मिलेंगे, बट इट इज प्रीडोमिनेंटली म्यूकस। About 65% of the units are mucus, 35% of the units are serous. तो प्रीडोमिनेंट यूनिट्स कौन से मिलेंगे, म्यूकस। इससे प्रीवियस वन को दोबारा देखिएगा, सब मैंडिबुलर को, वो भी मिक्स था, उसमें सीरस और म्यूकस थे, बट प्रीडोमिनेंट कौन से थे, सीरस थे। तो पैरेन्काइमेटस पोर्शन का फर्स्ट पार्ट जो सीरस यूनिट्स और म्यूकस यूनिट्स में हमें मिलेगा, उसमें म्यूकस यूनिट्स आर आउट नंबरिंग द सीरस यूनिट्स। फर्स्ट थिंग, डक्ट्स। अगर हम डक्ट को देखें सबलिंगुअल ग्लैंड में, सबलिंगुअल ग्लैंड की डक्ट्स का पैटर्न थोड़ा डिफरेंट है पहले दोनों ग्लैंड्स की निस्बत। वो कैसे डिफरेंट है कि इन डक्ट्स में इंटरकलेटेड डक्ट्स इन ग्लैंड्स के अंदर, या तो इंटरकलेटेड डक्ट्स they are absent. If they are present, they are not visible, readily visible in a micrograph. The next level duct within the lobule is striated duct, but वो striated duct level की जो duct हमें मिलेगी sublingual gland में, it don't have any basal striations. So that non-striated intralobular duct is not going to label as striated, but it is only straight away named as intralobular. तो इसमें एक इंट्रालोबुलर डक्ट होगी और फिर जो कनेक्टिव टिश्यू सेप्टा के अंदर डक्ट्स होंगी वो कहलाई जाएंगी इंटरलोबुलर डक्ट्स। एंड द नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग टू रिमेंबर, एक तो डिफरेंस आ गया डक्ट्स का, दोबारा रिवाइज कर रहा हूँ कि स्ट्राइटेड डक्ट्स नहीं है, सॉरी इंटरकलेटेड डक्ट्स बिल्कुल नहीं है। फर्स्ट, नॉन स्ट्राइटेड डक्ट्स मिलेंगी स्ट्राइटेड लेवल की सिंपल कोलमनर लाइनिंग की, तो उनको हम स्ट्रेट अवे नाम देंगे इंट्रालोबुलर डक्ट का, स्ट्राइटेड का नाम नहीं देंगे। द थर्ड थिंग कि इसके बाद के लेवल की जो डक्ट्स हैं वो इंटरलोबुलर कनेक्टिव टिश्यू में मिलेंगी इंटरलोबुलर डक्ट्स की सूरत में। एंड द लास्ट पार्ट, सबलिंगुअल सलाइवरी ग्लैंड्स में जो सेप्टा का connective tissue it is quite abundant and it is more dense, it have lots of collagen fibers. तो उसको एक्चुअल माइक्रोग्राफ में देखने के लिए स्कीमेटिक डायग्राम को देखें। दिस इज प्रोबेबली अ ब्रांच ऑफ कैप्सूल जो अंदर की तरफ आया और उसके अंदर इंटरलोबुलर डक्ट ट्रेवल करती है। अगर हम लोब्यूल के अंदर देखें तो देयर आर सीरस यूनिट्स, म्यूकस यूनिट्स, serous demi-Lune units, but these mucus units are outnumbering the serous units. अगर हम ductal level की बात करें तो there are only ducts which are lined by simple columnar epithelial cells. As they don't have any basal striations, they are straight away named as intralobular. Interlobular ducts or intralobular ducts, there are only two level of ducts which are present in sublingual salivary glands. सबसे पहले चीज देखें connective tissue septa को. How much it have more abundance of collagen fiber, और जिसकी वजह से more abundance of collagen fiber की वजह से irregular rayman में इसको dense irregular connective tissue कहते हैं. तो septa is more dense as compared to parotid and submandibular gland. The next thing, अगर हम दोनों लोब्यूल्स को देखें, which one जो थोड़ा सा नजर आ रहा है राइट साइड पे और जो ज्यादा एरिया कवर किया हुआ है वो लेफ्ट साइड वाले में, there are both serous and mucus units and serous demi-Lune as well, but mucus units are outnumbering the serous units. Very first thing to remember. This micrograph now, this is connective tissue septa, which is more dense compared to submandibular and parotid. First, second, the mucus units are outnumbering the serous units. That's why it is mucus predominantly. Another micrograph, इसमें जिस एरिया से इसको मैग्नीफाई किया गया है वहां पे सेप्टा को दिखाने की कोशिश की गया है कि ये there is one septal branch on the right side, there is another septal branch on the left side, in between them we have a lobule. The important thing, looking at this septa, it have more fibrous appearance, that's why it is more denser compared to the submandibular and parotid gland. Then again, within the lobule we have serous units, we have mucus units. यहाँ पे predominance उस एरिया में नजर नहीं आ रही, इसलिए नेक्स्ट माइक्रोग्राफ को अगर हम उसी मैग्नीफाइड पार्ट से देखें, उसी ग्लैंड से देखें, तो it have lots of mucus acini there surrounded by dense irregular connective tissue portion. So it have lots of connective tissue in it. Moving towards the tubular portion of the digestive system, the first part of the tubular portion is esophagus. तो ट्यूबुलर पोर्शन की अगर हम बात करें तो डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम में जितनी भी ट्यूब्स होंगी या उसके अलावा यूरिनरी सिस्टम में या रिप्रोडक्टिव सिस्टम में, रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम में, उसके लिए जो बेसिक आउटलाइन है वो सेम है कि वो जो ट्यूब्स हैं सारी की सारी डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम की, रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम की, रिप्रोडक्टिव सिस्टम की, यूरिनरी सिस्टम की, उनकी वॉल 4 लेयर्स की बनी होगी. And those layers are termed as tunics. Those 4 tunics are tunica mucosa, tunica submucosa, tunica muscularis externa, then it could be tunica serosa or tunica adventitia, which you have thoroughly gone through in your theory lecture covered by Dr. Simon Masood. So just to give you the basic overview, tunica mucosa is made up of 3 subparts everywhere where you are going to look at epithelium, then underlying connective tissue below epithelium, lamina propria, and then there is a layer of smooth muscles which are involved in the contraction of the mucosa itself. Those are muscularis mucosae. Lamina muscularis भी कहते हैं. Lamina का word छोटी लेयर्स के लिए यूज होता है. ट्यूनिका का वर्ड बड़ी लेयर के लिए यूज होता है. तो ट्यूनिका म्यूकोसा is to have a sublayer of smooth muscles, which is muscularis mucosae. Submucosa, it is again a connective tissue layer. That connective tissue is most of the time dense, irregular in connective tissue in nature. It has lots of blood vessels in it. Muscularis externa, which is the third tunic, it is most of the time made up of 2 layers of smooth muscles, inner circular, outer longitudinal. Excuse me. Then the outermost is the serosa or adventitia itself. This is the basically introductory part. Looking at this cross section a schematic section taken from a digestive tube. Look, this is the luminal side, and then this blue line, this light gray line, and this first pink line is the first layer, which is tunica mucosa, as indicated by this line. This bluish line always has to be the epithelium part. तो ल्यूमिन जहाँ पे भी होगी वहाँ पे सबसे पहला जो बेसिक टिश्यू आना है वो हमेशा एपिथेलियम का आएगा. एपिथेलियम से नीचे जैसे कि ये स्मॉल ग्रे लाइन इंडिकेट कर रही है, देयर विल बी अ स्मॉल amount of connective tissue there. This connective tissue is termed as lamina propria, and then the smooth muscle layer will be there in the shape of muscularis mucosae. Mucosa से नीचे connective tissue की एक layer आएगी, as indicated by these two color patterns. जहाँ भी इस color area में या इस circle के अंदर gray color आ रहा है, that is indicating कि connective tissue मौजूद है. तो दिस कनेक्टिव टिश्यू लार्जर लेयर इज सब म्यूकोजा, और म्यूकोजा से नीचे आउटसाइड की तरफ देन देयर इज अ लेयर व्हिच इज अगेन मेड अप ऑफ टू सब लेयर्स, एंड दोस सब लेयर्स आर मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम स्मूथ मसल्स, inner circular and outer longitudinal muscles, and then outside, if it is their only connective tissue, then it is part termed as adventitia. If that connective tissue is covered by a simple squamous epithelium in the shape of mesothelium, then it will be termed as serosa. Now moving towards the esophagus, we have just concluded that the esophagus is a tubular structure and it will have four basic sublayers which are forming the wall of this structure histologically. The first layer is tunica mucosa, and we have just concluded that in tunica mucosa there are three subparts. Epithelium. In esophagus, the epithelium is stratified squamous, non-keratinized epithelium most of the time. Then there is comparatively fine loose connective tissue below simple squamous epithelium, which is lamina propria. Outside lamina propria, there is a smooth muscle layer which is not encircling the esophagus but which are running parallel to the long axis of the esophagus. So those muscles are longitudinal smooth muscles. They are labeled as muscularis mucosae. Mucosa की अगर हम बात करें, it have an epithelium. In esophagus, it is stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium. Then it have a loose connective tissue part, lamina propria. Then it outside the last part of the mucosa is a muscle band made up of smooth muscles, muscularis mucosae. Then comes the second sublayer, which is submucosa. Submucosa is made up of dense irregular connective tissue. Its connective tissue is most of the time dense compared to the connective tissue of lamina propria. And in the esophagus, this submucosa salivary gland have characteristically glands. तो पूरे digestive system में अगर आप देखेंगे तो there are only two locations कि जहाँ पे सब म्यूकोजा में ग्लैंड्स मौजूद हैं. म्यूकोजा से अंदर वाली लेयर में सब म्यूकोजा में. तो वन ऑफ दिस लोकेशन इज एसोफेगस. रिमेंबर दिस. सेकंड आगे आएगी, जब आएगी तो उसको हम डिस्कस करेंगे. एंड दोज ग्लैंड्स आर नॉट प्रोड्यूसिंग एनी एंजाइम. तो एंजाइम प्रोड्यूसिंग ग्लैंड्स कैसे होने चाहिए? सीरस. तो ये एंजाइम प्रोड्यूसिंग ग्लैंड्स नहीं है. तो दे आर म्यूकस सीक्रेटिंग ग्लैंड्स. दे आर प्रोड्यूसिंग थिक विस्कस सिक्रीशन जो स्लिपरी नेचर देती हैं एसोफेगस को कि फूड पार्टिकल्स वहां स्टक ना हो सकें और स्लिप करके नीचे चले जाएं कंट्रैक्शन की वजह से. और वो कंट्रैक्शन कहाँ से आएगी? वो कंट्रैक्शन आएगी थिक मस्कुलर लेयर से, जो उस वाल की मस्कुलर लेयर है. इन एसोफेगस इट इज अगेन वेरी वेल डेवलप्ड. इट इज मेड अप ऑफ टू सब लेयर्स. द इनर सर्कुलर लेयर muscles, in which muscles are encircling the esophagus, and then the outer layer in which muscles are running parallel to the long axis of the esophagus. Then the fourth layer of the wall, it could be adventitia, it could be serosa. तो एक जनरल पैटर्न याद कर लें स्टूडेंट्स के जब भी कोई ऑर्गन बॉडी कैविटी में ट्रेवल कर रहा होगा तो उसकी आउटर लेयर पे कनेक्टिव टिश्यू के बाहर सिंपल स्केमस एपिथेलियम मेसोथेलियम की सूरत में मौजूद होगी. तो उस कनेक्टिव टिश्यू और सिंपल स्केमस एपिथेलियम व्हिच इज मेसोथेलियम it is collectively termed as serosa. If the organ is traveling outside the body cavity, like esophagus initial portion, most of the gland is traveling inside the neck. Neck is not a body cavity. It is on outside is only lined by adventitia, which is only connective tissue. तो एसोफेगस अगर नेक पोर्शन से ली जाएगी तो आउटर पार्ट इसका एडवेंटिशिया का होगा. अगर उस पोर्शन से ली जाएगी जहां पे ये बॉडी कैविटी में ट्रेवल कर रही है, like the part which is quite near to the entry point at stomach, so then that portion will be covered by tunica serosa. This is the basic description. A schematic micrograph which is taken from your book. So the upper side is the free space, the luminal side of the esophagus. तो हमेशा lumen के साथ जो फर्स्ट बेसिक टिश्यू आएगा या फर्स्ट बेसिक लेयर आएगी, that is tunica mucosa. Within tunica mucosa, the first basic tissue has to always epithelium, and that epithelium is stradivarius non-keratinized epithelium. Below that epithelium, there has to be small amount of connective tissue. That connective tissue is lamina propria. इस lamina propria connective tissue में आपको blood vessels मिल सकती हैं, lymphatic nodules मिल सकते हैं. Then the next part, इसके अंदर अगर आप देख रहे हैं तो जो लेयर आ रही है interrupted muscles की, which are traveling with the long axis of the esophagus, this is the muscles of the first layer itself, tunica mucosa. कितने मसल्स हैं तो इनको हम लैमिना मस्कुलरिस कहेंगे, ये मस्कुलरिस म्यूकोजी कहेंगे. तो यहाँ तक इस माइक्रोग्राफ की फर्स्ट लेयर है जिसमें 3 सब पार्ट्स हैं: एपिथेलियम, स्ट्रैटोवर्स नॉन केराटिनाइज्ड, lamina propria, loose connective tissue, a band of muscle, which is muscularis mucosae. From this point onward, you have the second sublayer of esophagus, which is submucosa. So this connective tissue is comparatively more dense. It has lots of blood vessels. It could have adipose tissue, but the important thing, submucosa in esophagus have glands. Which type of glands? In which the secretory units are white in color, have basal nuclei, mucus secreting glands. So these glands are present in submucosa. तो जहां पे आप ग्लैंड नजर आ जाए, अगर ये लेयर पॉइंटर पे हो तो यू आर स्ट्रेट अवे नोइंग टू नेम दैट लेयर एज सबम्यूकोसा. और ग्लैंड्स की अगर आप बात करेंगे तो वो म्यूकस एसिनाई या म्यूकस ग्लैंड होंगे. देन कम्स द थर्ड लेयर, which is muscularis externa, from this point to this point. Now just look at this layer. This layer have spindle shaped cells, smooth muscles, which are encircling this tube. So these are inner circular muscles which are circling. Then the muscles which were running with the long axis of this tube, जो बिल्कुल अगर आप अपनी अभी फिस्ट से एक ट्यूब बनाएं और उस फिस्ट के ऊपर दूसरे फिंगर से दूसरे हाथ की फिंगर्स रखें तो वो उस ट्यूब के लॉन्ग एक्सिस के साथ ट्रैवल करें, तो बिल्कुल इसी तरीके से यहाँ पे जो मसल्स हैं, दे आर ट्रैवलिंग ऑन द लॉन्ग विद द लॉन्ग एक्सिस. दे हैव देयर लॉन्ग एक्सिस ओरिएंटेड with the long axis of the esophagus. Those outer layer are outer longitudinal muscles. So this inner circular and outer longitudinal muscle is collectively forming the muscular layer of the wall, which is muscularis externa. Outside muscularis externa, there is a connective tissue layer which have blood vessels, adipose tissue. If it is only connective tissue, then it is termed as adventitia. But in this part, this adventitia is also lined by a simple squamous epithelium. So this part is termed as serosa. This part, which have only connective tissue, which is can be termed as adventitia. So I hope you got the basic descriptive part. Moving towards another schematic diagram. On the left, epithelium, lamina propria, muscularis mucosae. So this is tunica mucosa. अगर हम इसी को ढूंढने की कोशिश करें एक्चुअल माइक्रोग्राफ पे, तो दिस एपिथेलियम, लैमिना प्रोप्रिया कनेक्टिव टिश्यू, एंड दीज bundles of smooth muscles collectively forming the first layer. Then there is some part of submucosa there evident, but यहाँ पे स्कीमेटिक डायग्राम में सब तमाम लेयर्स को दिखाया गया है। तो इन बंडल्स के नीचे जो कनेक्टिव टिश्यू है मसल्स के स्टार्ट होने से पहले पहले तक, दैट इज कलेक्टिवली टर्म्ड एज submucosa. Submucosa have these glands which are mucous in nature. Those glands are termed as esophageal glands. So esophagus is one of the organs which have some mucosal glands, and then comes the tunica muscularis, inner layer which is circular, and the outer layer which is longitudinal. Then outside there is adventitia, connective tissue only. Look at another magnified image जहां पे आपको अपर साइड पे एसोफेगस की ल्यूमन दिखाई गई है. Excuse me, please. Then this luminal side is covered by a stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium. Below epithelium there is a lamina propria connective tissue, and below a lamina propria connective tissue there are bundles of smooth muscles. So till this point, this dark grayish area from the starting point, this is the first layer of the esophagus, which is tunica mucosa. Below this layer, this connective tissue layer, which have lots of mucous acini, a clear-cut indication these are esophageal glands. This layer is tunica submucosa. And then this micrograph, there are two muscular layers, inner circular, outer longitudinal. These dark vertical gray line is indicating the muscularis externa portion. A low magnified image taken from an online virtual microscopy resource. सबसे ऊपर देखें तो आपको फ्री स्पेस नजर आ रही है, विच इज द ल्यूमिनल साइड. ल्यूमिनल साइड के साथ सबसे जो पहला पार्ट नजर आ रहा है, दैट इज स्ट्रेटिफाइड स्क्वेमस non-keratinized epithelium, the first part of tunica mucosa. Then below epithelium there is a small layer of connective tissue, lamina propria. Lamina propria से नीचे देखें तो ये आपको डार्क कलर के स्मूथ मसल्स के बंडल नजर आ रहे हैं. So this continuous layer is the last portion of tunica mucosa, the muscles of mucosa itself named as muscularis mucosae. In bundle से नीचे देखें तो there is again a connective tissue layer which have lots of blood vessels there, submucosa, and in esophagus the submucosa have characteristically the mucus secreting glands. So these bunches are esophageal glands. The presence of esophageal gland is another indication that you are identifying the submucosa layer of this particular esophageal micrograph. Then the next third layer, which is again very darkly stained, as due to the higher content of protein in muscles, this is muscularis externa, and it is quite evident that it has two sublayers, the inner circular layer and then outer longitudinal layer. If this is the pointed area, then you are going to label it as muscularis externa. Within that muscularis externa, this sub-pointed area will be termed as inner circular layer, and then this is outer longitudinal layer, and then just outside the muscularis externa, then there is again a connective tissue layer which is termed as adventitia. अगर हम इसी माइक्रोग्राफ को मैग्नीफाई करें, अब लोअर मैग्नीफाइड इमेज जिसमें अब अपर साइड से लोअर साइड तक तीन सब लेयर्स एसोफेजियल वाल की एविडेंट हैं. फर्स्ट सब लेयर जो स्टार्ट से यहां तक मौजूद है, विच इज tunica mucosa. इस tunica mucosa में again there is stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium, lamina propria. Outside lamina propria there is a bundle of smooth muscles. This is muscularis mucosae. Muscularis mucosae के बाद second layer start होनी है यहाँ तक. This is connective tissue, और उस connective tissue के अंदर अगर आप गौर से देखें तो there are esophageal gland. So that's connective tissue plus esophageal gland is an indication that you are visualizing the submucosa part. तो म्यूकोजा भी कंप्लीट है, सब म्यूकोजा भी कंप्लीट है, और इस माइक्रोग्राफ मैग्नीफाइड इमेज में इनर सर्कुलर लेयर मस्कुलर एक्सटर्ना की यहाँ पर मैग्नीफाइड करके दिखाई गई है. Another magnified portion taken from esophagus. From the left side there is the luminal side, और उस luminal side से ये स्क्वायर पोर्शन अब आपके सामने मैग्नीफाई किया गया है. This magnified portion, the first part is epithelium, then this is connective tissue, Then this light color area is again bundles of smooth muscles, muscularis mucosae or muscularis mucosae के नीचे this dense irregular connective tissue indicated by lots of collagen fiber is submucosa, and it have two bunches of esophageal glands there evident. With this, I am finishing. I have just completed the worksheet as well. So I am going to share this video, this PPT's PDF file, and the worksheet with you people, so you can go through all this content before the Thursday's practical, so we can have an question answer session. With this, I have added some virtual online library resources or websites in the worksheet as well. I recommend you go through that. They are quite helpful. कि लो मैग्नीफाइड इमेज पे कोई ग्लैंड कैसा नजर आ रहा है, कोई स्ट्रक्चर कैसा नजर आ रहा है, आर्गन कैसा नजर आ रहा है, एंड उसी तरीके से जैसे इस मैग्नीफाइड इमेज में आपको डिफरेंट मैग्नीफिकेशन नजर आ रही हैं, या ये जूम का ऑप्शन मौजूद है तो आप उसको लो मैग्नीफाइड इमेज को साथ साथ जूम भी कर सकते हैं, तो वो जूम करके आपको उसके लेयर्स कैसे नजर आएंगे. विद दिस I am concluding this video demonstration. So Allah Hafiz from my side. We will meet inshallah on Thursday for the actual Zoom session. So Allah Hafiz.